the building today. One of the most commonly cited is Monkey Boy. What the fuck? The illegitimate son of William Limp Jr., who was born with deformities and thus hidden away to avoid scandal. Shit. Yeah, I remember they made a comic book. I was at a comic book convention. I know I'm telling stories side off, but still. I was at a comic book convention. I met Rick Pritchett and one of the artists who did the Simpsons comics. And my dog's barking because people are being loud. And Rick Pritchett did the Batman the Animated Series comics and the Justice League Animated Series comics as well. So, a local comic book publisher and creator did a comic book. I forget what it's called, but I will find it. It's somewhere in one of my boxes, so I will find it and take a photo of it. But it is a really good comic. It's kind of like a mixture of... What is it? It's kind of like a mixture of... I wouldn't say Game of Thrones. It kind of has the mature storytelling of Game of Thrones and Boardwalk Empire. And for those who don't know, the Limps are like the most well-known brewery family in the early days of St. Louis. Because St. Louis is very popular with beer. Beer is the empire in St. Louis. So, I remember I met this publisher. Me and him chatted, about comics. We chatted about storytellings, And he's really he's really a cool dude. And he made this comic, and it was about the Limps, the Limp family and stuff. So... And we were just chatting about it, and he was like, "Here, take this comic." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And it was a really cool story. And one of the guys who was there did Dick Tracy comics. And Dick Tracy, for those who don't know, was like a popular comic strip in the 30s, 40s, 50s. And I wish they would do a Dick Tracy film, but it most likely will never happen because, Disney and Warren Beatty disagreement. Which I'm siding with Warren Beatty. So, and the comic is like really good, and I love the mature subject matter in the story. How the different Limp siblings were. One was like an outgoing partier who, drank and slept with multiple women. And the other brother was sort of like the one who's trying to take control of the company from the father so he could lead it to the new direction, the new generation destiny. It's a really good story. And it's about this guy who sort of like keeps the Limp siblings in line for the father. And it was like it's very Godfather, Game of Thrones-esque type thing. So, but the artwork's brilliant. So, I'll find it and I'll take a photo of it, so you can know who the writer, the publisher is, so you can support them because they're independent comic book makers in Missouri, and they're trying to break new ground into the comic industry because. The comic book industry today, which, by the way, I do comic book podcasts, so I talk about comics. Comic book industry today is sort of dying. It's sort of gasping for air to keep going because it's suffocating from the social justice, politically correct era. And political correctness is cancer, so... And censorship is cancer too, so I believe in free art and expression, so let's see. The Alexson Brothers Hospital. I'm surprised they didn't put the one with the prison, as they sort of call the Arkham Prison in Missouri. I'm surprised they didn't put that one in there. Might do a show based on that. Anyway, the Alexson Brothers hospital was originally located in South Broadway, but it has since been demolished and rebuilt with a current location in Kincook Street. I thought I was going to say Canuck Street, but that's not the name. The hospital has gained notoriety. The hospital has gained dark fame thanks to William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist, which was mentioned in the story. But for those who don't know, this hospital originally was sort of the hospital for the kid, in The Exorcist, and this was the hospital that they did exorcisms in, and it is a very creepy thing. So, I always get freaked out when it comes to these things. It was exorcism rituals, which was successful, but the boy was released from the hospital in his room, which was permanently locked from the entire hospital and kept secret by the staff, due to not wanting to scare other residents and other stuff. Kind of don't blame them for that one. Damn, we're getting a storm. I just heard like thunder. I was like, Anyway, I might look it up on the comic on my phone, because I hate that I hate that I can't remember the name, even though I have the comic and I have I got 4 short boxes of comics and 2 long boxes, so, and I also have comics on my shelf, and I should just put that comic on my shelf. Anyway. Sorry. Just trying to find it. I think it's this one. I don't know what it is. No way. The Underfoot comic was made in Missouri. So happy. Shoot. Trying to find it, so bear with me, folks. I'm sure it's in one of those, white long boxes. I don't know which one, so. Boy. Damn. It's thunder. Hold on, let me find it in the short boxes, so I'll be right back. I'm gonna play this song for you guys. Alright, I'm back. Alright. So, I found it. I knew it was in one of the boxes. I just didn't know which one. And I love this. I love storms. So do I. It's always fun when you hear storms going. I should do my catchphrase when it comes to storms. Welcome back. It's good to be back. I should do my catchphrase when it comes to storms. Storm's coming. So, I found the comic. I have the first issue of it, and I even have it autographed by Carlos Gabriel Ruz, who written, lettered, and designed it. Brain Cloud Comics. So go to their website, www.braincloudcomics.com. Your voice, damn hot. Thank you. So, it's a 5-part miniseries. I have the first issue. I hope maybe I can find the other 4 issues. Yeah, I have it signed by Carlos Gabriel Ruz and Brandon Daniels, who did the cover. I mean, not the cover, but colored. Anyway, this is a great comic. Check out Brain Cloud Comics and their website, braincloudcomics.com. They are St. Louis locally made comics. They're great dudes. The comics that they did for the blimps is called The Barren Age, which is a really good fucking book, by the way. I read the first issue and I just loved it. I just thought it was such a brilliant made comic. So, they didn't ask me to plug their comic book company and their names and stuff. But it is such a good comic, and it gives such great history of the limps and a good comic book storytell. 1904, St. Louis was the 4th largest city in America, and it was an industry city, fountain of culture and innovations, and the gateway to the West. The path of manifest destiny started in St. Louis. At the center of this thriving city was the beer barons. None were bigger than William Billy Limp Jr. Billy was the heir to the Limp family fortune and the head of the brewery. 1920, he was almost broke. The Limp Brewery was sold for pennies on the dollar. Yeah, they got screwed big time by the company. So, I even love the art cover they did in the back of it, which was a classic retro, art cover for promotional beers and stuff. So, I'll take a photo of the cover and stuff, and they did a brilliant job with this comic, and I know I'm sort of talking about it, but it is such a damn good book, and they did books such as Weatherman, which I actually read, which is pretty good, The Ideal, Shorts and Losses, So, storm's here. And, so,